I think we got to start out with Simu Liu.
Quentin Tarantino, as well as some other people, including Scorsese, have made comments about the MCU in recent weeks and months. And Tarantino said something today that is absolutely factual. He said that there's kind of no movie stars today with the Marvelization of Hollywood. These people are not famous for who they are. They're famous for the person that they're playing. Specifically, like Chris Evans. Chris Evans isn't the star. Captain America is the star. And for some reason, Simu Liu decided to open his mouth.
So if only gatekeepers to movie stardom came from Tarantino and Scorsese's, I would have never had the opportunity to lead a $400 million plus movie.
That lost money. It lost money.
It barely broke even. Like, that's the most generous thing you can say, is that it barely broke even. That it was like by $20, this movie broke even. And that's what Simu Liu and all these woke fucktards are like bragging about.
They know that their fans don't know the difference between gross and net. They'll be like, oh, I led a $400 million movie that I guarantee you behind the scenes Disney calls disappointing. Like, there's no way that Disney is happy with that movie.
Well, that's the whole point too behind all of this, and I've been saying this for a long time, and I'm glad that Chris Evans is kind of the headliner of what they're trying to talk about, because Chris Evans is not a movie star. He is fantastic in the role as Captain America. No one cares about anything that Chris Evans is in outside of Captain America, and the numbers speak for themselves. With Chris Evans, and he's kind of the person that Tarantino kind of mentioned at the beginning, but Simu Liu's the one that took exception to it. I am in awe of their filmmaking genius. They are transcendent auteurs, but they don't get to point their nose at me or anyone. No movie studio is or ever will be perfect, but I'm proud to work with one that has sustained efforts to improve diversity on screen by creating heroes that empower and inspire people and communities everywhere. I loved The Golden Age too, but it was white as hell. Jesus, this guy.
And look at who Quentin Tarantino casts. Tarantino cast plenty of black actors. Samuel L. Jackson. Look at Django, right? But then also Lucy Liu. You want to talk about Asian people? He kind of blew up her career. The entire idea of, oh, what he's saying isn't accurate or something like that, it's laughable. Because I wonder if Simu Liu feels the same way about his co-star, his MCU co-star, Anthony Mackie, saying the exact same thing. This is from years ago.
Business has gone to, like, there are no movie stars anymore. Like, Anthony Mackie isn't a movie star. The Falcon is a movie star. And that's what's weird. It used to be with Tom Cruise and Will Smith and Stallone and Schwarzenegger. When you went to the movies, you went to go see the Stallone movie. You went to go see the Schwarzenegger movie. Now you go see X-Men. So the evolution of the superhero has meant the death of the movie star.
He's right.
He's very right.
I think he's right to an extent. Yeah. Go ahead, though, Ryan.
Word for word, that's the take that Quentin Tarantino has. He called 100%. It the Marvelization of Hollywood. Of course, there's going to be an exception here or there, but for the most part, that's 1,000% true with what we're witnessing.
There are a couple of movie stars in Hollywood right now. There's Tom Cruise, obviously. Chris Pratt. What do these guys have in common? They don't shit on the fans and talk about their politics. That's what I think the worst thing going on in Hollywood is that social media has given us an insight into all of these weirdos, and they constantly talk down to people.
But like, think about what Mackie said about how it was like kind of in the 90s with these action stars of the day. Like
Leonardo.
You would go out to see something because somebody was in it. It's not this big, huge list. And when you look at the guys who are in the biggest properties, the biggest movies, these Marvel movies specifically, there's nothing for them. Robert Downey Jr., you can love him as Iron Man. He's fucking awesome as Iron Man. They put him in Doolittle. They spend nearly $200 million on a Doolittle movie, and it makes $225 million at the box office.
I think it's a combination of two different things. I think a lot of the mystique, like I said, of Hollywood is gone. You get like an inside fast track to the minds of these people, and because everything is as public as it is, you see how much they really despise people for various reasons. I think especially 2015, 2016 broke a lot of folks that are in that industry. And they just really showed their true colors. And it turns a lot of people off to that because, again, they don't have the mystique. Whereas they're back in the gap to get rid of the thoughts of a movie star. It was buried in like a magazine or, you know, some interview or something like that ended up going public. It was never really a a situation where they were voluntarily giving you their positions, and oftentimes they're talking about stuff that people just don't care about. But that access kind of ruined them, because a part of the draw with Hollywood was that it was a mystique there, and they had their own kind of, they were here and everybody else was there, and that has been completely ruined, and it worked against them as it pushed other folks into the forefront. Social media allowed that, where regular people are often just as known. You see even streamers, gamers, who are just as much known as any movie star to this day. They tricked themselves into believing they were more important than that. You had an actress, let's say, playing in a role. You have to take into consideration that you're not bigger than whoever it is that you're playing. The problem is that the egotistical assholes actually believed for a minute that, like the Chris Evanses of the world, you can feel it, that they believe I'm the shit. You know what I mean? When it's like, nah, you're not. Maybe you feel that position, well, that was fine. You did that, maybe that character justice or whatever, and people enjoyed it, but they don't really like you for you. You ain't got it like that. And Chris Evans has found the hard way, certainly when you see movies like Lightyear. That was a total fucking disaster. And it really showed that these guys are not capable of carrying movies.
I'm happy that Simu Liu is thanking Disney. Simu Liu is thanking Disney, the same people that covered up the face of Chadwick Boseman because he's too black to promote out there. The same Disney that has fucking concentration camps. The same Disney that goes to China with their concentration camps. The same fucking Disney, right? Yeah. That to promote in China, they said, thank you for letting us film next to these concentration camps. Yeah. That's who he's thanking for how he's being represented. Like, what an absolute fucking